Ignition sequence start. Astronauts report it feels good. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. Tower cleared.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Rocketbook Pro Tips live stream. As always, I am joined by Joe and, of course, Jake as well.
All right, guys, Jake is here. We can start the show. What's happening here?
Don't worry, guys. Jake Reeves is here. He's a Rocketbook super user. He has an awesome YouTube channel where he breaks down a bunch of not only Rocketbook products, but his products all over the web. Gives me great in-depth details on Rocketbook. So we figured we'd have him in with us, chat with our customers, our viewers, just really just dive into the Rocketbook orbit and say what he thinks is awesome about it too.
This is great. We got Jake in stereo. Welcome, Jake Reeves, Mr. Reeves.
Jake here, but since
you.
There's going to be a lot of value, I'll roll with it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome.
All right, so today, as mentioned, we're going to be diving into the Rocketbook orbit a little bit more. We're, as always, going to be inviting as many callers as they can to call in, ask Jake questions, ask Jake questions, ask Joe questions. And
we're going to need to sort this Jake thing out right away. Right?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to figure out who's addressing who, but it's good. I'm psyched. The more Jakes, the better. Let's Jake and bake. Let's do it.
As a little bonus, we're going to be giving away 2 Rocketbook orbits to callers as well. We have this here jar full of pilot friction pens with an undisclosed number of pens in it. Every caller who calls in and asks a question, please also guess the number of pens in the jar. The 2 closest guessers will get a free Rocketbook orbit.
There's 1,000 milliliter beacon.
Yes, yeah. The correct answer is not 1,000 milliliters of pens. We're looking at an actual count of pens.
Oh, it's awesome. Last time was the prize wheel. Now we have to guess the number of. I feel like the budget for our live streams is going down.
It's going to be an odd or even number next time we're going through this. I think before we dive into too much orbit stuff, the real Jake Reeves, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and what got you into Rocketbook?
Yeah, sure. So I'll try to keep it brief because we don't need to spend too much time on this. But, my background's in engineering. I have a PhD in mechanical engineering. I actually am currently an assistant professor teaching design. But I really got started in the Rocketbook ecosystem. First of all, watching the Shark Tank episode. I remember watching that. But then it wasn't until about 2018 that I actually bought my first Rocketbook. And I was hesitant whether or not to even review it on my channel. I remember thinking, I don't know, is this something I can talk about? And I'm really happy I did because I found that the community was super responsive. Everybody's really always been great at providing comments, feedback, and getting involved. So it's kind of gone from there. It's been great.
That's awesome. It also took me a little while to recover from that Shark Tank episode. I'm almost there, though.
Yeah. And I love your channel, Jake. It's full of productivity tips. I love how the Rocketbook just sort of show, even when you're talking about the benefit of checklist or agenda, you always write it in a Rocketbook. So we appreciate you being a super user as well.
Yeah,
and a super fan.
On all your products, even the non-Rocketbook, with just an amazing attention to detail and all the products that you review and all the cool tips life hacks and tips that you have. So everybody go check out Jake Reeves on YouTube.
Yeah, I believe we can get the link right there on the page, youtube.com/Jake Reeves video.
That's awesome. And I didn't know you were a mechanical engineering PhD. That's fantastic. We can get into some really some good detail of the ring binding system, I think, on the orbit.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Dylan, thanks for the reminder. Don't forget that the Rocketbook Orbit has launched on Amazon. It's available now in 2 sizes and 4 different colors of those. About 8 or so page backs on there too that we'll dive onto as the stream goes on. But I think just as a great natural segue to Jake Reeves, one of his latest videos on the Rocketbook Orbit that just put up onto his page.
It's awesome, yeah. And Jake, what do first of all, just from a mechanical embodiment. See, now I'm just going to only ask you about the mechanical engineering of it. But you see how the orbit is composed of a page pack that's bound with these ferromagnetic rings, infinite rings, and it sticks to a magnetic landing pad. What do you think about that versus like this spiral that we've been using in the rest of our Rocketbooks?
Yeah, no, I actually really love it. I think that the magnetic, the ability to kind of pop and go, switch things out, grab different page packs, that really appealed to me. I'm a huge fan of the top binding, whether it's the flip notebook or this, but really, I think there's a lot of benefits that I've found. And back in December, I made a video about what Rocketbooks I am actually using. And I think I had a caveat in there that, I haven't got the Orbit yet. Now all I'm using is the Orbit. And one of the big reasons is the texture on the pages. That little like diamond texture just grabs the desk really well. So it's super secure. And like a very minor thing.
Would you say you're using it more at your desk or walking around on the go?
Well, COVID has kind of restricted my walking around too much, but taking it on the go is definitely a big part of why I originally wanted the Orbit as well.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there'll be ample opportunity to get up and around, and I'm sure you have to go into the classroom starting in the fall or something like that, right?
Yeah, it'll be with me.
Yeah, glad to hear. It's so interesting that you're just a fan in general of the top turn, where the flip is your other big notebook, right? Where you turn it, and whereas the Orbit is like this infinite flip, so you can pop it out, always have the clean page on front. What drew you to just like the top turn style of notebooks? Just curious.
Yeah, the original core I really liked, but the palm interference, if I was writing on the backside of a page, I kind of end up missing about a quarter of the page because of palm interference on the coil. So when I saw that the flip came out, that was my primary motivation. But with the Orbit, when I was an undergrad, all I did was take notes on pads because I was taking like 7 courses a day and you can't carry all those binders with you. So I just take the pad, write stuff out, and then rip it off and go. So this really appeals to kind of nostalgia of how I like to take notes.
And how about the digital aspects that it provides? How have you used that in your workflow?
Yeah, I find the digital part is really peace of mind more than anything. With a regular notebook, I have so many regular notebooks that only have the first 5 pages filled out because I start filling it out and then I screw something up and then I get demotivated and it doesn't come together how you want. With the Rocketbooks, the ability to like erase it and then just keep going really has been awesome. So it's kind of more of a peace of mind. I keep my agendas fully backed up and I do use it occasionally to, like, if I'm doing a design sketch, just document it in a design folder. But really it's just the freedom that it provides.
That's awesome. Actually, I think we have a caller on the line who really wants to get in here.
First caller, all right.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
I just really like watching the videos, and I actually really love watching Jake's videos as well, because I get a lot of my different tutorials from yours, because I just like how you set up your different pages and go through the different ways on how you work it and stuff.
Oh, you were talking about Jake Reeves' videos. For a second, I thought you were talking about my videos.
Well, I do like our TikTok videos there. Those ones are
I am viral on TikTok. No, yeah, I agree. If you haven't checked out Jake Reeves' videos, they're all fantastic. There was a great one about how to make your home office be as productive as possible, when everyone was stuck at home. That was a great one. Some of the things in there stuck with me.
I actually had a question. I was wondering, do you have a camera for Jake Reeves? Sorry. Do you have a camera above you and on the side of you when you're recording that, or how do you do 2 separate videos and then just mash them together?
Yeah, I usually try to shoot from one camera, so I kind of mix it up and then do the voiceover after the fact. My kind of workflow in general is to try to script the video ahead of time. While I'm doing that, I'll do it in like Google, and then I'll end up adding like color notes for what I think the shots should be. I made my own little top-down rig by 3D printing like an adapter for my camera to sit on like a traditional computer monitor mount, so I can just kind of clip it and bring it over. But yeah, I find scripting it out, it doesn't necessarily sound as natural sometimes, but that way I'm concise and I'm not doing like a 15-minute video of me rambling, because
That's what I
really easy to
enjoy.
get stuck with that.
Yeah, because you do it so well in like such a perfect amount of time that it's like, well, I'm not getting bored at certain parts. And then like it just makes me want to use my Rocketbooks even more, and it's just a lot of fun to like find the different designs that work out for the different books.
Well, that's
Awesome.
great to hear. Awesome, thank you.
Of course, thank you guys.
Thank you for
Thanks so
calling
much,
in.
But before you go, how many pens do we have in the jar here?
I'm gonna guess. Let's go with like 52.
Awesome.
It's probably a pretty good guess. Yeah.
I think
Fingers
you
crossed.
should probably clarify whether or not Price is Right rules apply.
Oh
I think
yeah.
we're just going. I can get clarification from Dylan on the back end. I think we're just going closest in general. All right, awesome.
It's good to know.
I think we have another caller that's ready to dive in right away. Actually,
Wow, look at this. Just stacked up with callers.
Hi.
Hey,
Ashley.
Hi. So I actually had a couple questions about the orbit and everything.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, have you guys like considered doing like a clear back so like you could see the back page through it?
Whoa. You just blew my mind with that question a little bit. That's interesting. So that you can just like flip it around and look at the back too without having to turn the
Yeah.
pages around?
Well, like if
That's a
you're
clever
gonna
idea.
have like notes for like, I don't know, like an office job, like a work job, because I work at the Y, so we have meetings all the time. And like you could write out some of your notes, and then like if somebody missed part of the meeting, you could just put it on the back. So while you're writing more notes, they can see your back.
Yeah,
And-
no, I think that's a great idea, and also I'll give you another application. Why Clearback would be fantastic is the page pack that comes with every orbit is lined on front, dot grid on the back, so it's great for taking notes and diagramming. So if you're ever in a place where you're making a diagram and taking notes, you could turn it around and look at your diagram and take notes on the front where it's lined.
Yeah.
So I love the idea. Wow.
Yeah, I love that some of our best ideas come from our users, from super fans like you. Quick plug for ideas.getrocketbook.com, where you can share ideas like this and upvote other people's ideas, and our product team uses that to figure out what we're going to make next. So that's so awesome, Ashley. Thanks for sharing your idea.
Yeah.
And then I did have one more quick question. Have you guys ever considered putting like 3-ring binder holes in some of your pages just so you could put them into an already existing binder?
We have considered that.
Yeah.
Okay.
On that. What do you think? Would that be super helpful for you?
It especially would be helpful for me because I have to like pull things out and give them to teachers sometimes, and I get them back. So like it wouldn't be like I'm losing my Rocketbook forever. It'd be like I give them to them, they look it over, and they give it back. But just giving them my entire notebook is kind of hard, especially when I have another class following.
Yeah, and just to nerd out for a second, it's like our favorite thing to do on these. So just a little background on that. The computer vision that we currently use today is looking for quadrangles, we call it. It's basically looking for the outline of the page, which is one of the reasons that we put a black border around the edge so that the computer vision can very quickly find the page and do like a handshake with the page pattern. It gets a little bit difficult once you put it into a 3-ring binder because the rings sort of cross that barrier into the quadrangle. But I know all this because we're working on the problem, and we know that 3-ring binders are still a thing, especially in school, and easily to pop in and out other things, maybe even non-Rocketbook pages. So it is something that we're working on. Look for a solution to that. It's realistically not going to be until 2022 because we have to do a lot of work on some of the underlying artificial intelligence that finds the page.
Yeah, I completely understand. That is more than I was hoping for an answer, honestly.
Thanks so much, Ashley. Before we let you go, can you guess how many pens are in the jar?
I'm going to guess a little on the lower side because I actually have like an entire huge bag of pens at home just because I color coordinate so much. So I'm going to guess around 44, 45.
Awesome.
45 for Ashley.
Thanks for the
Ashley.
guess, Ashley. Thanks for the call.
Thank you so much, guys.
I was trying to give a long answer to that question. So I'm trying to compete with Professor Jake, right? This guy's got a PhD. I'm just trying to sound as smart as him.
I think that talk about pages is actually pretty interesting though, because Jake also has a whole video on the Orbit page packs where he kind of goes into each one in a little bit of depth. I was wondering if you could kind of walk us through that a bit.
Yeah, no, definitely the page packs are a huge part of the Orbit system. One of the things that attracted me to it initially, I think the biggest advice I'd give if you're looking at an Orbit is to spend some serious time thinking about what page packs you want. You probably don't need them all. I have every single one, obviously, in order to produce that video. But I find myself going back to like the one or two that you use most often. There's a huge variety. You can find pretty much any of the regular Rocketbooks other than maybe the Panda Planner, which I don't know if that'll ever come to the Orbit or not. But yeah, the music staff page is a great one. I guess a little hack for the music staff page would be if you yourself are working on hand lettering, trying to get your font a little bit neater, you can always use those rows to kind of precisely pick out where each letter is ending and starting. Or if you wanted to take a Sharpie to it, because you have small children who are learning to actually form their letters, you could always Sharpie out what the A is supposed to look like, and then they can go and trace it and follow over. So don't feel restricted to knowing what page pack is supposed to be used for. Really just use it for whatever you like. And I think that's big part of why I really, if you don't know what to get the dot grid, because you can make it into anything.
That's a great hack. Yeah, what a great hack with the turning the music staff page into a learn your handwriting page for your kids. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
I saw in your video, Jake, that you're a fan of the Cornell notes as well.
Yeah, no, I definitely like the Cornell notes. I find them, I'm not taking courses right now, obviously. So I find them best for meetings as just a way to quickly kind of reference what do I want to talk about on the side. And then I can fill in what the actual meeting notes are when I'm going into a meeting. So I do a lot of design with surgeons. So if I'm going into a meeting with a surgeon, I'll have like some cues as to what I want to talk about. And then I can elaborate on those as the meeting goes on. And then at the end, kind of, if there's any takeaways, if there's any action items for me to do out of that meeting, then I find that's a great place that whole setup just works so well.
That's great. Yeah, that's great information. Yeah, and we've been kicking around the idea, just in general, whether it's a page pack or a notebook or both, of doing like a meeting notebook. And so that's actually good feedback to sort of build off the Cornell system to create an entire notebook or page pack around it.
Yeah, I'd always like to see a like a brainstorming one or something. I mean, I'm a little biased. I'm in design, but having some kind of like a brainstorming page pack.
Can we just hover on the what surgeons are you meeting with? When do you go into meetings with surgeons? I can't let that pass without asking about it.
Yeah, so I'm a mechanical engineer by training, but I mostly do research in the area of like biomedical engineering and surgical instrument development. So I'll work with surgeons to figure out what new tools need to be developed, or testing a new tool in like a cadaveric model in the lab and stuff like that. So it's interesting. Lots of collaboration.
Interesting. Yeah. And when you're meeting with surgeons and getting their feedback on tools and things like that, what type of pattern do you prefer to use?
It depends. If it's a really formal meeting, then I'll go with something like the Cornell notes where I need to have planned. Otherwise, my go-to is really probably the dot grid because it's just good for everyday use.
And what do you think about, we have a daily and a weekly planner options. Have you played around with them, or do you favor one over the other?
Yeah, I think they're both great. I prefer the daily planner, I think, in general, just because I'm always hesitant to leave the ink on the page for too long. And you guys have done a great job with actually expanding the number of pages you get in a page pack compared to like the traditional core notebook. So I'd be a little hesitant if every single page has a full week on it and I forget to go back and erase from 40 weeks ago or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I really like the daily one, and that actually feeds into my video this week is about updating my bullet journal template to move to more of a daily thing. And that a lot of that came out of using your daily page pack for a little while.
I'm curious, how long does it take you to put together one of these videos typically?
I'd say it's at least 2 full days. Usually right now, I used to try to get one video out a week during COVID, but now I'm at the point where I probably get 1 to 2 out a month. So I try to script on one weekend, usually on like a Saturday, do a little bit of editing on Sunday, and then film and edit in 1 or 2 days the next weekend. So it's probably 3 days.
Yeah,
That's great. Yeah, they're high quality. You've built up a great library.
Thanks.
Don't forget to go check out Jake Reeves' new videos. Subscribe to his page when they come out. They're always awesome to see. I know they're always bouncing around our company chats. And for all those page pack needs, I saw a little question in the chat. The Orbit is available on Amazon, and so are I believe 8 page packs, and then we have a couple more that are exclusive to GetRocketbook.com. So if you're not seeing what you're looking for on Amazon or vice versa, feel free to check out the other site.
And reminder, every Orbit that you buy on Amazon does come with a line dot grade hybrid, so you can flip back and forth between different page patterns.
Definitely. I think we have a few more callers trying to get in, so I don't want to keep them waiting too much longer.
Ian.
Ian, welcome.
Hey, Ian.
Hi. Yeah, I love Rocketbook stuff. I'm an associate professor of philosophy, actually, and I use the beacons on my whiteboard when I'm teaching classes so that I can make it available for hybrid classes, particularly during the most recent last year of interesting classes. I would film myself teaching to a whiteboard, but then make the notes available for students, since a lot of my students don't have, they're attending classes with phones because they weren't planning to have online classes, but all of a sudden they were having to adapt, as we all did. And so it's been really great. And also I made a frame out of the edges of a Rocketbook page, and would have students work in groups, make a project together. Like group 1 is working on a piece of paper, and then I'd overlay it and take a picture and be able to send it again to the cloud for everyone to take a look at. So you guys, it's really what I love about Rocketbook is how sort of adaptable it is for those kinds of hacks. But my question is, obviously, you can't tell me when the Access is available, but I'm hoping you can give me a hint or a secret code that I can use to figure out when I can purchase that.
Yeah, so I can tell you. So the Access is a full notebook, which is similar to an Orbit in that it has page packs bound by ferromagnetic rings. And we ran a Kickstarter for that earlier this year, and the Kickstarter will be shipping later this year. I think in September or October, I believe. As for when it will be generally available on our website and Amazon, we're not really sure. Typically, it's a few months later, so I would say sometime near the beginning of 2022.
Okay, yeah, because the ability to flip things around on that Access, I'm really looking forward to once it's available. But I missed the Kickstarter by just a couple of days. I heard about it just after it had closed.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it won't be too long of a wait between when we ship the Kickstarter and when you can actually order it. But yeah, that the Rocketbook Access does support a 360 flip, whereas the Orbit has we put the pen dock on top so that it was sort of a standalone carry around the classroom or carry around the office or what have you. So
yeah, I don't have the Orbit yet, but what I'm excited about with that is, am I right that it's magnetic on the back? So, like, for example, if it's up against a magnetic whiteboard or even my fridge, it'll stay there and I could use it to take notes as I'm working on things.
Yeah, exactly. I use it for that all the time. I keep mine just to declutter my desk. I have a little like magnetic or metallic filing cabinet, and I just slap it on there at the end of the day, and it's perfect for that.
Yeah, I mean, the way I would like to use that is in a class, when I'm working on the whiteboard, just stick it up there. I can take notes for the students later and take a picture of it and then have it available on Blackboard for students to look at, if they missed the class or if they just weren't fast enough taking notes.
Yeah,
it's awesome. As a philosophy professor, what's your page pattern of choice? I have a guess that it would be lined. But am I right?
Actually, it's philosophers, if you ever go to a conference, we're terrible at PowerPoint. We're terrible at anything that's requires any sort of creative, interesting. We just want to be able to read to people and have people listen to the things that we're saying, because we thought way too hard about every single word choice we made. So I definitely prefer lined paper for when I'm working on stuff for my students, but I'm trying to force myself to be more visual and use the dotted lines when I can.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, Ian.
Thanks a lot.
What would your thought be on the amount of pens in this jar?
Yeah, I was tempted to do a water displacement test with a pen and do the math for 1,000 milliliter jar, but I decided to keep things honest, and I'll just ballpark it and say 64.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ian.
Good.
Thanks a lot.
I think we have another caller that's ready to hop right in, actually.
That's great. Wow. Probably another professor.
Naturally. Tim, welcome.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Hi. Hang on, my magic mouse was a little too magic there. I'm a project manager in media and entertainment systems integration. And I've been using Rocketbook for a long time. And my question, I'll get right to my question, then we can jibber jabber. I'm a real big fan and I need a optical character recognition. I also write in cursive, and I practice cursive, and I got it down. And I'm just curious, lately, what has your progress been and updates, and what are you excited about in your OCR realm these days?
Well, the OCR technology does get better and better. It will, for the foreseeable future, still struggle with some cursive, depending on your cursive. It really is, the data set that it's being trained on is mostly print, for example. But keep using it. It will get better and better. No promises as to when. How is it working for your cursive these days?
I think it's fine. And then so I experiment with it, right? And I go, okay, if I do this, how does it? Oh, it does better with that. So I do whatever it wants, basically. And I found that if you do grade school cursive, it's good, right? I don't expect it to and no offense to the guy working in medicine, I don't expect it to decipher doctor scribble. But so I am, I was a media and entertainment engineer for years, so I get it, so I chase whatever the algorithm seems to like.
Yeah, and net is getting better and better. And I'll tell you, my penmanship, my writing is at times I can read it, and sometimes the Rocketbook OCR can read it. So I'm constantly surprised by how good it's getting.
Yeah, well, that's what. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and again, you don't have to try that hard, but you have to try a little bit just to make sure it's readable, at least to another human. And it's a good note that on the top of the orbit, I'm not sure if you saw, Tim, we actually have a dedicated title bar for the first time, so you don't have to even put the hashtags down. You can just write your title in the top of the title bar, and the app scans the page, it knows where the title bar is, and then we'll instantly pull your handwriting out and call it the name of the document. So it will be, meeting with Tim.pdf.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I got to the point I couldn't read my own handwriting in my notes, and I went, "Oh, this is getting ridiculous." So I looked back at, it was Mundorf script, and it wasn't selling. So I went back and looked at cursive, and I actually had to relearn. Oh, how the hell did you do that? And so I'm, so I've got it down now. So, I'm really excited about OCR. So,
well, we're excited about it too, and thank you for calling and reminding us about the title bar. Yeah.
Before you head out, Tim, can you give us a guess on the amount of pens in the jar?
Well, if you go back to the group again, who was the gentleman? Who's the professor? Oh, he's gone. Anyway, I loved his, I was going to get a pen and see the replacement and figure out. So you know what? I like him so much. I'm going to say 64 too.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. What happens when we have a tie?
We got two winners. I think.
Okay.
I'll make it easy for you and say 65.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Tim. All right.
Thanks, Tim.
I don't want to miss too much on the awesome content Jake Reeves has put out. I'm pretty sure you also have a video dedicated to the Rocketbook capsule for a variety of notebooks. I was wondering if you could speak on that a little bit, just your experience using the capsule.
Yeah, no, the capsules are really interesting as a complement to the Rocketbook system. If you're like a first-time person looking at getting a capsule, the one caution I'd give is that make sure you understand what it is. It's not like a slim thing to protect your notebook. It's really supposed to be like the thing that you carry that has all of your stuff in it. So they are quite large, but they're quite large because they pack so much stuff. So particularly with the orbit capsule, you have a lot of room in there for, you know, your actual orbit. You have room for the pen to slide in. You now have that little elastic for the little small atomizer spray bottle, which I think is an awesome addition that we've seen in this one. I also really like the inclusion of the mesh little pocket there, because that's just great to quickly throw anything in. I usually use it for my little not blanket, cloth to erase. But you can also fit some cloud cards in there if you're looking at getting the whole system together. So
nice, good plug for cloud cards too. Thank you for that. So, it's a fantastic part of it. And they fit right into the capsule. I mean, that was a great description, Professor Reeves. But as you mentioned, we really designed the capsule to make the orbit more mobile, which is why we allowed you to put it in the entire Rocketbook ecosystem, so you can put in some cloud cards, some beacons, and it has a front pocket for another page pack if you want to travel with you. So if you plan to use your orbit exclusively at your desk, probably no need for a capsule. But if you want to jam it into a backpack, throw it into a bag, take it with you, take a bunch of pens and your microfiber cloth with you, it's a fantastic option.
I don't know. I got to debate with you, Jake. I love it at my desk. I like it how it keeps everything organized. Even my little spray bottle and microfiber towel just keeps my desk totally tidy.
Joe's going through a big organization phase right now. He's trying to keep everything in its space, which I fully support. I fully support that.
I'm going through some phase.
we get the philosophy professor back on. Maybe you can chat with him about that.
I think it's also worth mentioning that the orbit capsule can hold one additional page pack, and there's some cool stuff going on in the labs for developing a dedicated page pack holder as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for power users, it was especially for around the Rocketbook Axis, the folder or the holder that is really in development by our product. We always have a whole bunch of stuff going on in the lab at Rocketbook. It's a pretty exciting place. So we have a holder coming out that will hold multiple page packs. That's, again, if you want to take them with you, actually, or organize at your desk if you're like Joe and you want to keep things tidy.
Mm-hmm. And Peter actually is in the lab right now. I can see you put the.
I am in the lab. I can show a quick little sneak peek.
Look at that!
There you go.
And you placed the pens right in our 3D printer. I see.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
We actually 3D printed the pens.
Was that right?
Professor Jake, you mentioned 3D. But what are you rocking for a 3D printer? I'm sure you have one in your house somewhere.
Yeah, they're just off camera here. I have 3 actually in my office. 3 Prusa. 2 of the Prusa Mark 3S and 1 Prusa Mini.
Oh man, that's a good setup.
You also have a video of 3 3D printed tools to declutter your desk. I'm gonna check that one out next.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Another great plug for Jake's YouTube page. I think
awesome.
I'm being told we have another caller waiting to get in. Oh, welcome, Amanda.
Hey, Amanda.
Hi guys, how are you?
Great.
How are you guys? Yeah. Hey, I was wondering about the binding clips that are on the orbit and possibly the accesses, whether or not you can open them in order to change around your pages or combine packets, that kind of thing.
Well, that's a great question. No, currently they are fixed and closed. Now, some people have been doing some hacks where they've been able to take some pages in and out. So it's a bit of a hack. It's not necessarily something that we fully support. However, we are deep in the labs working on an update to the ring system. I can only be vague at this point as to what may be coming down the road next. But you are on to something there.
Yeah, and when we were conceiving page packs in general, and we thought about modularity and customization, we wanted to ensure that it was a quality product, and you were able to very quickly flip your pages, and to make it page to page interchangeable. It just presented a mechanical challenge to make sure pages didn't accidentally fall out when you didn't want them to, and so we came together with this version of the Orbit and the Axis page packs, where you buy these individual page packs that have an assorted number of different page patterns on them and things like that. But it is something that comes up a lot, like another level of modularity. And as Joe said, it's another thing that's cooking in the lab behind Peter.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
I love all your guys' products.
Thanks so much,
thank
Amanda.
you. And I fully appreciate your calendar in the background too. I see the the space theme. You're bringing the space theme to us.
Love it.
That's right.
Awesome.
Amanda, can we have a guess for the number of pens in the jar?
You know, I'm gonna go low and say like 38.
Awesome.
Thank
you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Amanda.
It's a pretty awesome little hack for trying to open up the rings and try to sort pages.
Yeah,
out.
and Jake, I'll look forward to your hacks on that. But that reminds me, are you a letter size or user or an executive size or user?
The executive's the most common for me, I'd say, because that's what I use for my agenda and everything. So it's always with me. But I do keep the letter size if I'm going into like larger meetings.
Got it. Yeah.
On the topic of hacks, you also have a pretty cool Orbit hack and a little video dedicated to that I'd love to talk about.
Sure.
This is a good one.
Oh, yeah. This was a fun one. So playing around with some NFC stickers was something that I just kind of popped into my mind. I was looking at these stickers as something I could, have some fun with. The idea is that they have these little wires on them. It's the same technology that would be if you have like a tap Visa card or something that would allow you to pay. But you get to choose what it's going to do. So there are a ton of different applications. In this case, I think I use the NFC Tools app. It's available both Android and iOS. There are some more restrictions on iOS and what you can do, but in the video I show on both platforms how you can have it automatically launch your Rocketbook app to scan, which is probably the one that I use most of all. I keep it kind of at the center of my orbit, and then as long as the phone's open, just tap it and it launches the Rocketbook app, and then you can start scanning. But then I also have one dedicated to opening, my LinkedIn portfolio so that I can share that with somebody, or launching snapdrop.net, because that's a quick way to share files regardless of whether somebody's using iOS or Android. So always good to have on the go if you're networking.
I love that. That's why part of why we decided to develop a 7-symbol system, just to take friction out of the workflow of getting things, off the page, on the page to wherever you want it to go, right? And you've taken another step here. Don't even have to find the app. Just put it near your Rocketbook and it opens the app and you're good to scan. I love that.
We just need some Rocketbook NFC stickers with little logos and little spacemen on them.
That is an awesome hack. That might be the best Rocketbook hack I've ever seen. That's amazing. And so you just have to open your phone, you have to unlock your phone, and then you put your phone near your Orbit or your Rocketbook, and it just opens the app and you can start scanning.
Yeah, just tap it and go. That's all it is.
Wow, that's awesome. Joe, how come you didn't think of that?
I'm not a professor.
Thanks so much. I think we have time for one more caller and one more guest before we wrap things up.
Awesome.
Or maybe not.
Okay.
Hi.
Rebecca, I thought it was going to be a third Jake. I thought there's going to be a third Jake for a second. Hello, Rebecca.
Hi, guys. I'm a big Rocketbook fan. I actually work in IMT, and I actually have a chat with my team who are a Rocketbook fan club. One question I had is currently with the Rocketbook, I like to highlight, but it smears a lot. Is there any plan in the future to stop that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's a tricky one. Yeah. Go ahead, Jake.
As Joe started to say, it is a tricky one. And so if anyone doesn't know, Friction or Pilot makes a number of different tools in the Friction family. There's highlighters, there's several different types of pens and markers. And the problem is when you put the Friction highlighter over something that you've written already, and it's on top of our synthetic page, it can act as, the moisture to erase it, and it smears it. To be honest with you, we haven't really figured out a good workaround for that yet, other than the obvious.
I have seen one technique by a user, and it's like Jake said, you can't highlight it after the fact. However, if you know that you want letters to be highlighted before you write them, you can lay down the highlighter, wait a few seconds, let it dry, and then write over that. So it looks highlighted, right? But you have to highlight it before you write the letters. That's the trick there.
Another great time to plug Jake Reeves' YouTube page. I believe there's a video where he goes over every friction pen, marker, and highlighter and kind of just demonstrates how they write on the page and like what those effects could be.
Yeah,
great resource.
My hack was exactly that, Joe. Try to highlight ahead of time if you can, because otherwise it's a bit of a challenge. Those synthetic pages, as great as they are, that's the one downside.
Maybe I stole that idea from you.
Divine inspiration.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rebecca. Before you go, can we get a guess on the last guess for the pens in the jar?
I'm going to go with 43.
Awesome. Thank you.
43 for Rebecca.
And now I'm so curious what the answer is. Thank you for calling in, Rebecca.
I think before we wrap up, just a quick reminder that the Orbit is available on Amazon and as well as the page packs. Everyone has to check out Jake Reeves' YouTube page. Some awesome updates coming up soon. I believe the bullet journaling video is what's coming up next. And without further ado, I think we can announce our winners for the drawing or the guessing contest. I'm being told.
Right, who is it?
This is further ado.
The closest answers were Rebecca with 43 and Ashley with 45. I believe 45 is right on the money with how many markers were in there. Dylan can confirm right now.
Wow. That's great.
47.
Guess.
Sorry, 47.
Okay, so those are the two closest.
They're 47.
Yes. So if Rebecca and Ashley can either email us at helloeck@rocketbook.com or message us on any social media platform, just come and get into contact with us and let us know the size and color orbit you'd like and your mailing address, and we'll be happy to send those out right away.
Awesome.
So it seems about 20 milliliters was each pen, just about. Just doing the displacement.
Wow.
That's good that we don't know that.
Let's not end soon, but we got a couple of Jakes here. I've got a special portion of the programming here. I want to do.
What is this? Hold on.
First Jake, right?
Oh man, why are you guys promoting Jake on Jake violence here? Come on.
This may decide whether Commander Epstein stays with the Rocketbook team or not. We're going to have upgrades to the next Jake. But let's it consists of a few trivia questions. All right, so let's go with the first trivia question. When you know the answer to this one, just interrupt me. This one's called Name That Jake. This Jake got his Hollywood start in the 2001 movie Donnie Darko and went on to be nominated for an Oscar.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
There you go. All right.
Who is Jake Gyllenhaal?
Well, so far, Commander Epstein, you're securing your space on this team so far. But there's two more questions left. We'll do them all right? This
so
one,
bad under pressure.
Commander Epstein, you should have an advantage on this one because we're getting into the next two because we're getting into some Rocketbook trivia. So, as we know, the Rocketbook Matrix is the book it's great for STEM, for engineers, etc. It's really chock full of graph paper, right? Now, on a page on the Rocketbook Matrix, how many boxes are there total? All right. I'm gonna have Jake Epstein give his answer first, and then because you're at an advantage. And then Jake Reeves, you can decide whether you want to go over or under there with your answer.
800.
800.
Oh, I'm going to go under that, and I'm going to say 640.
All right, we got to wait for it. Here's an unnecessary pause. All right, Jake Epstein, you've secured your spot.
Oh, man, that was a tough one, too.
Yeah, that was 1,020. On each page. So, all right, good one there. But let's finish. We got a third question here. Last question on the Jake versus Jake Rocketbook Showdown. Let's see. We're gonna go back and forth here. So we're gonna start with you, Jake Epstein. You're gonna name one of the 8 standard Rocketbook colors. and then Jake Reeves will name another, and when whoever when we run out of colors, whoever's left loses. So
and we have to use like the official name. Okay.
yeah, you use the official name. The official name. So
okay, I'm gonna go with the one that's my favorite, but it's not our most popular color, but Atomic Red.
Atomic Red. That is your favorite.
Nice.
Yep.
I'll counter with my favorite, which is the Deep Space Gray.
Deep Space Gray. All right, you're keeping up, Jake Reeves. All right, your turn, Epstein.
I'm gonna fail at this one. I know I am. Okay. Neptune Teal was, I believe, the light blue.
I think the other blue is the Midnight Blue.
Woo! Impressive. Impressive, Jake Reeves.
Oh man.
Do you know any more here, Jake Epstein?
I'm gonna sweat it out on this one. Put them up. Put up the graphics. Okay. I believe it. Scarlet Sky is maroon.
Ooh.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You got it.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm staying in the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Only a few more left here. Let's see. Jake, you know any more?
I think you did a self plug on the orange and did Beacon's orange.
There you go. Oh man, you're keeping up. All right.
2 left.
Do you know any more?
I don't know if I do.
Do you know the one for the green?
I can't do it. I can't. I'm bad under pressure.
I'm gonna snag it from you then and say terrestrial green.
Oh, God.
Now there's one more left, but I don't even think you get this. But you want to try for Jake Epstein? I think Jake Reeves wins this one.
The last one is we haven't talked about black. I'll just call it black. So the black hole black.
Would seem appropriate.
Wow, that's our standard color. It's infinity black.
Infinity black.
Infinity black. Into the depths of infinity. Yes. Well, that was
I gotta brush up on those. Nice work, Jake Reeves. Hey, by the way, Jakes are not your guys' pets, all right? So stop just jumping through flaming hoops.
Perform.
Awesome.
Well, good performance. Excellent job. Jake Epstein, you remain co-founder and chief innovation officer here. So congratulations on not just getting fired based on that trivia.
Jake, thank you both. Jake Reeves, thank you for joining us. The Orbit is live on Amazon. Check out Jake Reeves' YouTube page, and don't forget to join into any of our future live streams. Maybe Jake will join us again. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.